During August, when you purchase the whole ball of wax at LaunchpreneurAcademy.com and use the code LAL2024, you receive $250 off and one free ticket to Launchpreneur Academy Live 2024 this November in Novi, Michigan. Seize the moment and elevate your lawn care business with our most comprehensive package. You get full access to all training programs, including a one-on-one coaching call with Brian. The whole ball of wax includes free lifetime upgrades to future editions with a few exclusions. It's over $3,500 in programs and resources for $14.99, and we're going to take an extra $250 off that price. This is easily saving you over 50% compared to buying a la carte. If you've been contemplating making your move to the top, now is the time to act. The clock is ticking, and this offer ends August 31st. Turn your aspirations into achievements with Launchpreneur Academy's whole ball of wax. Use code LAL2024 and you receive $250 off and one free ticket to Launchpreneur Academy Live 2024. We've provided a link in the show description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, excited about getting another great guest interview on the phone, on the horn for you guys. Today, we're joined from beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. We've got Mason Hills joining us. How are we doing this morning, brother?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
Absolutely, man. How's things going in Raleigh, North Carolina? I love that whole southeast North Carolina area, Charlotte, Raleigh, beautiful area. How's things going down there?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a fast-paced area. We are experiencing extreme growth. We're one of the top places to live in the country right now. So we're having people come in a lot from New York, Pennsylvania, California. So there's a lot of money flowing into North Carolina from outside states, and just people are coming here at record numbers. So
nice.
There's so much work that the landscapers around here can't even keep up. So, most of the companies around me are just so busy with work that, everybody's having to turn down stuff, and, there's a lot of new companies forming and everything. It's really a beautiful thing with what's happening.
Hey, they say in real estate, it's location, 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 right? And so if you're self-employed and got a business and there's a booming market and a big demand, why not? That's the place to be. I just literally saw on Instagram reel the other day, maybe you guys saw this one. It was some guy that moved over to Big Sky or somewhere in Montana, whatever it was. And the guy was all frustrated that his local HVAC guy quoted him like $40,000 for, what would have been a $10,000 job. And the folks said, well, that's because you're moving over here with money and we know who's the out-of-towners. And, of course, that started a whole fight in the comment section, as you guys know. But you know what? You can charge buco numbers when you got big demand and little supply, right? I mean, it's good old free enterprise economics there, man. So what do you think? What do you think's the attraction to Raleigh? I mean, I know my personal belief would be beautiful weather, very sunny. I mean, very lush green, area and all that mess. Not a lot of water, though, if I'm not mistaken, over on the Raleigh side. So what do you think is the attraction of everybody moving over? Good politics? Who knows?
So Raleigh is kind of central North Carolina. And I think the really most attractive thing is that 2 hours, whichever way you go, you can be at the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. And then 2 hours the opposite way, you could be at Wilmington Beach, North Carolina, which we kind of have the best of both worlds, which is nice because, we don't have to go to any other state for it because we have it. And one thing that, the North Carolina blue skies, like that's definitely a thing. So the weather here is awesome. We experience both climates. We have a hot summer and a decently cold winter. And recently we're just getting out of a drought here. And now we're having a bunch of rain for 2 weeks. So it's been an interesting cycle this year, but yeah, we have a very diverse environment here. So it's pretty attractive for people like, I guess, in California that are used to the same thing, or New York and Pennsylvania, for example, where they have so much snow and cold. Like, right. I guess people get tired of it and kind of want a balance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, having no snow and your winters be in the 40s, 50s, maybe low 60s or something like that, on a good winter, quote unquote, that's You can't beat that versus, miserable snow, sleet, and ice and 10-degree temperatures in the Midwest, New England states, Canada, all that fun stuff. So, I'm right there with you. I heard a stat somewhere. I forget somewhere, but I think it was related to North Carolina or Charlotte or Raleigh. It was a stat on a billboard. It was like 200 plus days of sun. I think it was literally an advertisement like on a highway sign here for people to move to Carolina or whatever it was. And up here in Michigan, for reference, it's 200 days of cloudy plus. So that seasonal depression really does kick in January, February, March. And so, hey, you know what? If people are moving to North Carolina for those couple reasons, I think that's a good reason to move, man. So that being said, you got a landscape company down in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's take it from the top, man. Give me, if you don't mind, sharing your background and what you guys are looking like today.
Absolutely. So when I was 17 years old, I'm 23 now. So 6 years ago, I was working at a fast food company called Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue here in Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. And I just got tired of seeing all the beautiful Carolina blue skies pass by, and I couldn't enjoy them. So I really wanted to get outside and, make some cash however I could. And so I saved up $2,000 from the fast food place, and I spent $1,900 on a zero turn. And I had a zero turn and $100. And from there, I grew my client base. I ended up starting my company with a partner, and we worked together initially and started growing really fast. So within probably 2 months of actually doing it, we had to quit our fast food job, and we quickly became full-time in the landscape industry. Okay. So from there, we grew as fast as we could. And mind you, I was still in high school at this time. I was junior when I started. So we collaborated and grew as fast as we could. And then I bought my partner out in 2019. And I think that was 2 years into the business. And then from there, I was full-time. So I took a gap year in between high school and college. I decided that I wanted to go to NC State University in Raleigh. And I went there with a 2-year program for horticulture sciences. And if anybody is questioning that, it is an absolutely amazing program, probably one of the best in the country. And I'm very, very glad that I went. Amazing professors. So I graduated NC State University in 2022. And then from there, I was back full-time again. And as soon as we got out of college, I hired 2 full-time employees. And then now we have 5 full-time employees, 6 if you wanted to include me. And we do residential and commercial. We have a maintenance division and a landscaping division. And we keep busy with the 12-month maintenance contracts. And we keep our landscape side always doing some enhancements, whether it's planting, mulching, or, any drainage solutions or anything like that. So
wow,
we've grown pretty fast.
That's a lot to unpackage here, man. That's a lot. That's a loaded gun right there. I'm pumped about breaking all this down. Like, what a crazy 5, 6, 7 year run so far. I mean, my gosh, it's so fun getting you guys on the show that are younger. You guys are just full of spunk. You're kicking butt. No fear or less fear, quote unquote. And you guys are just making it happen. As we record this, we're in the thick of it with our teenager series. And I just love highlighting your guys' success. It's such it's the American dream, bar none. I mean, it's so cool to see what you guys are doing and putting together and how you're setting yourself up for, success in, your 30s or 40s and 50s, just with what you're doing here in your 20s. I mean, you guys are doing it right. And I'm really, really excited for you, man. And I know there's been some struggles along the way. I'm sure we'll break down some of those in a minute. But I do want to, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors and commercials. They are a necessary evil, but I love hearing from our sponsors and the folks that help keep this thing on the show and keep it on the radio. It does take time and money. But I want to talk a little bit more about those 12-month contracts and how you're keeping a couple different crews going. I know that's the big question I get asked all the time is, juggling multiple crews, multiple people, so at 20, 21 years old, I would love to see how that's faring on you, which some tips or tricks that you got for us. So we'll line that up here in the queue when we come on back. So let's do this really quick, guys. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors, show announcements. And by the way, if you guys have not heard a big announcement, in the month of August, you can get the whole ball of wax for $250 off and a free Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2024 ticket, which is another $249 value. So $500+ in savings. Huge, huge, huge. Please take advantage of that. We'd love to have you guys at LAL, and you get all the access to all the resources on the Launchpreneur Academy website, all the contracts, all the designs, all the postcards, all the courses, all the contracts, the employee handbook, blah, 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 blah. Dude, check it out. It is a great value, and I just really wanted to make sure that we're emphasizing that for a quick second in case you didn't know. So let's hear from the rest of today's show sponsors announcements. We're going to come right on back.
This is your invitation to Launchpreneur Academy Live 2024 on November 2nd in Novi, Michigan. Prepare for a dynamic day filled with expert sessions on cash flow management, business automation, client retention, marketing strategies, and more. Our stellar lineup of speakers includes Sam Rankin, Pat Murray, Ken Deemer, Brian Fullerton, Sam Gemble, Mark Bradley, Jeff Joyner. Connect with industry peers, win fantastic giveaways, and elevate your business. Don't miss our Friday night mixer for some great networking and fun. Enhance your experience with our exclusive Sunday masterclass sessions on November 3rd, featuring Jeff Joyner, Mark Bradley, and Sam Gemble. These intensive 3-hour classes are limited to 20 seats each, offering you tailored advice from the pros. Secure your tickets for Saturday at $249 until September 17th. Then, the price jumps to $297. Visit LaunchpreneurAcademy.com to register for Saturday and reserve your masterclass spot for Sunday. This is your opportunity to grow and network with the best in the industry.
Ratings and reviews. Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
Well, it has sure been a while since I got off my lazy butt and read some reviews. Hey, it's Marty, Brian's podcast producer. Let's pull up our first 5-star review. This one comes from Joseph R. He's with Briarwood Lawn and Landscape. He titles his review, Best Green Industry Podcast to Listen to. Brian shoots it straight with tons of helpful information mixed in with great guests of all ages and business sizes. The information and personal applications in every episode are so valuable, and I love the longer episodes as well. Every Element Landscape titles his review Awesome Info. I've been listening to the podcast religiously since I've started my business in March, and it has helped me to have the right mindset and learn my worth and maximizing profitability and customer satisfaction. Awesome podcast. Again, Every Element via Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. And our final review comes from Totter's Turf. Here's what he writes. Best investment anyone in the industry can make. Most definitely the best investment I've made into myself. Thank you, Brian. What about you? Would you take time and write a review today, drop 5 stars, and do us another favor? Tell somebody else about the show.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
All right, Mason, we're coming right on back to you, my friend. And one thing that before we hit record on the show, it was really funny. I was like, hey, give me your last name. And it was Hills with an S. And I said, you go, don't forget the S. And I laughed. I said, hey, man, I'm from Michigan. We add the letter S to every single word that we say up here, no matter what. So we're going to Kroger's, we're going to Myers, we're going to Menards. Well, I guess Menards already has an S, but maybe Menards SS. I don't know, like that. So it's funny. I'm like, we're going to add the S no matter what, man. But down south, beautiful North Carolina, absolutely great area. I've been to North Carolina many, many times in my life, passing through and also just visiting some friends. So you guys got it going on. When you were, let me take it back to the top. I always love asking people how you got started doing this thing. And I remember you saying you were working at the restaurant and missing those North Carolina blue skies. What was the feeling being cooped up or locked up, at the restaurant? Or was it not being able to control your own schedule, or just getting sick and tired of, cleaning up greasy spoon, food, or what? I don't even know what the job was, but what was the idea of going into business for yourself, doing lawn and landscaping?
Yeah, so I have a couple business owners in my family, so I grew up with them, but the business owners in my family never grew past one employee. So it's really just them and another employee. So, I've always grown up with, having high hopes and high visions because of that. I see where things can go in one direction. So it kind of just wanted to pull me in the other. So, the schedule was definitely a big thing. I wanted freedom in my schedule to do what I want whenever we could make it work. Of course, granted, it's not always perfect, as any business owner knows, but I just got tired of seeing those beautiful days go by, and I wanted to get out there, and I love networking and talking with people. So it was kind of just a no-brainer for me. And I grew up doing these, landscape mowing tasks. So I kind of already had a little idea of everything. But honestly, once I got my feet wet in the industry, it was like, holy cow, this is way more than I, would have ever imagined. So
sure,
that's when I took a step back and went into NC State University and got my education there. Of course, my high school, thank God, offered horticulture and agriculture mechanics classes. So that's when I really found my passion, when I was 15 years old. And from there, it was like, wow, I really wanted to do it. So I found a way to make it happen and started from there. Definitely humble beginnings.
Man, that's awesome. Let me press you a little bit more, ask you about the your experience at North Carolina State. What was the actual degree or program? And then if anybody, did you go in person? Did you do like online training? Because I know it was like the COVID years and all that mess. So how did all that go?
Yeah, so it's the Agricultural Institute of North Carolina State University. So they pretty much focus on the people that want the education and don't want the fluff. They don't really care too much about being there for 4 years and all of that good stuff. So long story short, you go in, get an associate's degree, and there's different categories you can pick. Top three that I can think of is field crops for kind of the farming, and then landscape technology and horticulture sciences. And then there's also turfgrass management. So because I'm a plant guy, I did plants in high school and I knew that's what I liked. I wasn't too crazy about the turfgrass. So I did the horticulture sciences. Don't regret a thing. We pretty much learned from the core of the earth all the way to the tip of the highest tree. So it was a true blessing to learn all of that.
Sure.
Because that quick 2-year time frame it just skyrocketed my knowledge and my potential to turn that into profit. Because as a business owner, really the key things that you want to focus on is just being trustworthy and knowledgeable. And if you can do those two things, people are so much more willing to pay than, some guy that's just doing it on the side or, has maybe never had the formal education to show. And with the society that we're in nowadays, people put a lot of emphasis in education. So
yeah,
if you're able to get it in your industry any way you can, then it's definitely good. And, I was in high school thinking, even middle school, I was like, man, I'm never going to go to college. But I'm not going to lie, when I learned about that Agricultural Institute at NC State, I was like, man, that is just calling my name.
That's awesome.
I did not want to go for that 4 years. So it was awesome just to fast track it.
Yeah. And a 2-year degree for landscape design or architecture, landscape architecture design, horticulture, very, very typical or prominent, kind of a 2-year degree for a lot of folks. I wouldn't say prominent, but it just helps add credibility, like you said, to your business venture. I know a lot of friends have a quick 2-year degree. In 2 years, folks, like, my daughter's already 3. I mean, snap my fingers. She's going to be 6 and then 10 and then 20, dude. It's life goes so fast. So for some of you guys that are pursuing this, I never want to ever have a message out there that we're down on college. I'm just more suggestive of the idea and the train of thought that if you're going to go for something that you enjoy and you're passionate about. Don't just go to get a business degree. Don't just go for an accounting finance degree. Yeah. I mean, if you're passionate about the green industry, go for something that is going to accelerate or add additional value to your potential career. If you like building things, and go for landscape design. And if you want to go for more tree care, plant care, healthcare, the horticulture programs, are all available for you. I'm a big proponent of those. I'm not for a generic 4-year liberal arts, gender study degree, for crying out loud. 100%. For crying out loud. So,
yeah, right.
So congrats on that, man. Great job. Have you already wrapped up that program? It sounds like.
Yep. I graduated in 2022, and that's also when I met my fiance, Paulina. And we're now engaged, and she is working for the company now. So full circle.
Congratulations, man. Wow, that's awesome. Finding a fiance, wife, and then also a solid employee, right? Because you can't fire her, right? No, I'm just kidding. So
right.
She'll fire you probably the other way around, right? But that's awesome, man. Well, congratulations on all the success and the growth. So give us the timeline. We have limited time here, but I'd love to hear like the meat and potatoes from when you were getting out of the previous job and with your business partner and your friend to maybe establishing a quote unquote big boy real company here the last couple years. What are you guys doing today? What are you guys focused on today? Give us the breakdown of how the company's looking.
Gotcha. So as I said earlier, we're a team of 6. I have 5 employees, and we have a maintenance division and a landscape division. So with that maintenance, we do 12-month contracts, and pretty much we try to focus on full service. That's really our main emphasis. And through that full service, we mow during the growing season weekly, and then on the off season, we guarantee a monthly visit. And if you have lots of big trees on the property that drop leaves, we're there weekly, tearing up those leaves and getting them out of the client's yard. And we also do pruning, and we do the weed control programs throughout that same package. So we pretty much offer the full service, and it's really nice because it gives us the ability to not only change it up every week, but be able to be a one-stop shop for our clients. So that way, you know, they're not working with other landscapers and, you know, getting numbers from other people and just talking, because, you know, whenever those conversations happen, it's, you always want to stay as close to your customer as you can. So we've definitely focused on that. And one thing that I've really found that was awesome this year, because we just started doing the 12-month agreements last year, but those 12-month agreements that we started signing up for have saved us over this winter, because as everybody knows in the landscape industry, things can slow down. And when you have full-time help, you know, it gets really scary around, you know, the October, November, December time, because you want to keep those guys employed, but you got to have money coming in to do it. So we have our client's card on file, and at the beginning of the month, so if they sign up on the 1st, we charge their card on the 1st, and we keep it consistent. So we get paid for that month ahead, because I've actually ran into cash flow issues last year because we would charge at the end of the month. Well, I started thinking about it, and, you know, we're paying, you know, over $10,000, $15,000 of payroll each month. So by the time we get to the end of the month, you know, we were low on cash. So I sent a message out to all my clients and let them know that we're going to start charging at the beginning of the month. And that solved all of our issues. So for anybody out there that's thinking about getting those agreements, the 12-month contracts, absolutely do it. But make sure you do it right, because you can only change it so many times before you make a client mad. But it can also really save your tail, you know, throughout the winter, and also keeping everybody employed. And, you know, when I first got into this industry, I was like, yeah, I'm only going to do maintenance for this long, and then I'm just going to do landscaping mostly and just be landscape heavy. But I've learned that sustainable growth and predictable growth really comes from the maintenance, and the landscape enhancements are just the fast cash, big projects. And through those landscape enhancements, you can sign them up on a maintenance program, whether it's for their shrubs and trees that we install, or if it's for the full package. So that really helped us. And those landscape enhancements helped us out in the winter months too, because that's a great time to trim all their shrubs, their trees, and put new mulch down after the leaves fall. So those core clients that we had last year was just an unbelievable help. And I'm a full supporter of maintenance now. And that's the direction we're going. So
that's great, man. That's great. And you're so right. You hit the nail on the head. Whether you get the maintenance to upsell landscaping, you get the landscaping to upsell maintenance, and just have that reoccurring work. But then really moving folks towards a maintenance, quote unquote, contract or subscription model, quote unquote, you know, there's so much merit to that, especially for crying out loud, like you said, in the fall, winter for so many of us. You know, that seems like a great strategy for your guys' businesses down south. For us, we do offer snow and salt, you know, management, and for us, or ice management. But for us up here, same thing. Flat rate monthly snow contracts are a huge saving grace for us. You know, you got to do them right. You really have to know what you're doing. You have to have good contracts and good agreements, and you know, know when your service is going to revert back to per push and time and material for bulk salt and ice melt. But, I've got many of our commercial sites that we're moving not only for flat rate monthly for snow and ice, but of course for the general summer season as well. I was talking about just the other day on a Link live stream, had an account that's $1,726 a month every month. And, it's mulch, it's the pruning, it's the landscaping, it's the blah, blah, blah. But, it's a reoccurring $1,726 account. And, it takes 3 or 4 of those to float some good payroll, And so having that peace of mind, knowing that your overhead's taken care of and your payroll's taken care of, and then you can start working on profit and those jackpot jobs, man, what a offensive approach versus, just like you said, always having your back to the corner, Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, I was always more landscape focused, but I actually, this past winter when I had some extra time, because now I have a team that can do the work for me. So I have time to work on the back end of the company and really grow. And especially now that my fiance is working for me, she has a teaching and biology and horticulture background too. So we're able to collaborate and really grow the back end, which honestly has changed the absolute game for us. And I'm very thankful for that. But, over this past winter, I looked up top 100 landscape companies in the United States. And actually, probably 10 to 15% of them lived in Raleigh, North Carolina. So what did I do? Nice. I went on LinkedIn. I bought the LinkedIn, I bought the LinkedIn package, the premium package, and I messaged all of those guys in my area. And I got about 4 companies to meet with me. Landgreen Landscaping, Yardneek. There was another one, I think it's Greenview Partners here in Raleigh, and one other. And I sat down with them. I'm like, how did you guys scale to, $100 million? How is that possible? And they all told me maintenance.
Wow.
Most of these big companies are 80% maintenance, 20% landscaping. So, as I started to learn their mindset and how they handle things, I quickly changed up my mindset because, it's very smart how they planned it and portrayed it to me. And, the maintenance really is the key to staying afloat and keeping that cash coming in, because and these guys have been in business for 30 plus years. So I really wanted their insight because they've been through a recession. I haven't. So they were telling me the companies that were solely focused on landscaping were the first ones to go downhill because they didn't have that consistent cash flow.
Right.
So in my scenario, I don't care to be the richest man in the world. I just want to have a sustainable company that can pay the bills and, keep my guys employed and, keep everybody's dreams coming true. So that's, I really focus more on the sustainability versus, running on 100% with no true backbone. Right. So now that I have that backbone, I'm much less stressed, and it's just a lot more enjoyable because it's never fun stressing about money.
No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. There's so much there that, first off, congratulations. Well done. I'm very proud of you for going and being proactive and networking with the other leaders in your market and folks with great businesses. Do you know how many people have heard that on a podcast, what mine or otherwise, generic business advice saying, go find coaches and mentors, and how many people have actually done it? I bet the conversion rate is about 1 out of 100. And I'm dead serious. I actually had a tour that I went on, and the young guy asked me, what's the best thing I can do to grow a company and get a different perspective out there? And I said, go on out and go visit other folks. Visit as many folks that will let you swing by. Say, go visit this guy. How do I get a hold of them? Dude, I don't care if you call the front desk and just sell them that you're a 20-year-old kid that's just a green thumb, and you just want to learn. Like, bro, just go. You have to go out, because if you're from some rural small town or maybe even a bigger city in Raleigh, but you don't know what you don't know, then of course, how are you going to know more than what's inside your own little world? You can be a big fish in a small pond, they say. So go be a small fish in a big ocean, or you'll grow into being a bigger fish into a big ocean, right? And so go on out there. I just really want to commend you and applaud you for that. You did anybody tell you to go spend $50, $100, $500 on LinkedIn Pro or whatever the hell it's called, or did you figure out that was going to be a good investment for your future?
Yeah, so nobody really told me to do that. It was just an idea that I had, because there's only so many ways that you can get in contact with these people, because they're already working. Yard Meek has 2,000 employees, so I'm like, Jesus. Oh my God, I can't work up that chain.
Right.
So the only way I could connect with them was through LinkedIn Premium. Well, LinkedIn, and then I was like, all right, I got on there, but you have to have LinkedIn Premium to contact these higher end CEOs and stuff like that.
Sure.
I took the chance. It was $70 a month. I mean, really a no-brainer when you think of long-term investment. So that's what I did, and they all reached out to me, more than willing to help. And wow. I took the chance, and now I'm good friends with Kurt Bland with Bland Landscaping. They have right around 700 employees.
Isn't that wild? And in the grand scheme of things, myself, I'm a nobody. You're on the come up. We're both quote unquote nobodies. I'll say that with love, but like to these behemoth, mega companies. But they're guys. I'm telling you, the more successful somebody is, more than likely they're the ones that want to share, reciprocate, pour into you. They feel blessed. They want to be a blessing, paying it forward. There's almost a little bit of a responsibility to help the next guy, And so that guy's not looking at you as competition. He's thinking, hey, we can unload some work to that guy. He can, maybe he has a good go of it for 10 years and he just gets tired of running and he wants to come in house, and you could be the next director or operations manager of something. Like, folks there's always a reason that you can pour into somebody and reciprocate instead of just taking, So I would just continue to encourage you to add value to that mentor. And I don't care if it's a box of cigars, a fine wine, or taking him out to a steak dinner. Like, just appreciate his time. He already does appreciate that you appreciate him. But when you find a good mentor, a good friend or mentor that's willing to pour into you, man, nurture that relationship. So, dude, I'm so proud of you. I was going to ask, but you already answered the question. I'm like, is that a good investment? $70 a month? I would imagine just some of the conversations you've had with him have already paid big dividends in your business. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, just that $70 a month, I mean, that's generated hundreds of thousands into the company, and hundreds of thousands of just, reoccurring maintenance just from that conversation. Cause I was in that transitional point and I needed some advice, and they really helped, guide me in the right path. And I'm very grateful for that.
Man, that's so awesome. I can't relate with you more other than the fact that I literally did exactly what you're talking about. I had a couple steak dinners with my friend Mike, talked snow and salt. I've done multiple six figures in snow and salt, if based on $1,000, maybe worth of steak dinners at Black Rock Steak on a Stone. For any guys that come up to LAL, you guys know if you know. And if you don't know, come on up to LAL, get your ticket, and come eat some steak on a stone with us the night before. But exactly, man, getting together and networking with folks has paid me probably more dividends than anything else I could really put my thumb on. It's just networking. So great job there. Let me ask you this. We could go for quite a while. Unfortunately, I got a hard stop in 4 minutes, but I want to just ask you, where's the future going? I love hearing where folks came from. I love hearing where they're at. But where are you guys going? I'm sure your mind is like a rubber band. It's continually getting stretched and just expanded on. And especially as you're networking with guys with 6, 7, 8, 9-figure businesses, whatever's going on down there, it's just insane. So where have you seen the vision of your company and potential? Where do you guys want to go?
Right. So I really think there's insane potential, especially in my area. And I'm sure other viewers can relate with popular, fast-growing areas. But I really think there's a huge gap in the market for the maintenance, because, they're in our area specifically, there's neighborhoods popping up every direction you look. Neighborhoods, townhomes, apartments, commercial buildings. So there's never been such a high demand for all of these contracts and all of these properties that need to be taken care of. So I really think that the maintenance side is going to be something that's going to grow faster than my landscape side, because that brings in more potential revenue in the future and additional revenue over the course of the winter months, because they already have your number. They already know who to call. So that alone is going to help build a more consistent, a more stable landscape division because, imagine if we had 2 months worth of just mulching, and then the next month is just, doing cleanups and getting people ready for our maintenance program. And, in the winter here, since we have mild winters, it's a great time to do planting. So we make, the major renovation side, happen during the cooler times. And then in the hotter months is when we maintain it all. So it's a beautiful thing here. We don't really, we might get snow once a year for 2 days, but I mean, that's the max of what we're going to do. So we kind of don't have that revenue potential.
Sure.
So we have to fill it up with other things. And I've found a awesome success with the maintenance and the 12-month agreement. So I think we're going to build that side up more and, eventually grow the landscape side. But really the bread and butter there is the maintenance.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm right there with you. Site maintenance, both residential or commercial. Pick your poison, whichever you guys want to do. You can make money in both. Don't let anybody fool you. So, but man, that's so exciting. First off, congrats on the first 5, 6, 7 years here. I know the next 5 or 6 more are going to just be incredible for you. We'll check in from time to time, make sure we get the update. I always love hearing the follow-up with where people are going and where they're growing to. So I'm sure you'll have even more great thoughts to share with us. But I just really do want to just say a quick thank you for taking time to be on our podcast today. I know we're actually recording this during the weekday in the afternoon. So I know you guys are in the field, I'm in the field, or we're doing office stuff. There's always something to do this time of year. So Mason, we don't take it for granted that you're spending a quick half hour with us today on the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast, man. So thank you. Where can people find you? And if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that mess, and we'll probably land the plane right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Landgreen Landscaping. And our website is landgreenlandscaping.net. And our Google, just type in Landgreen Landscaping Incorporated here in Fuquay Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina, whatever you want to do. You definitely can find us. We have lots of reviews online, over 100
Nice.
5-star reviews. So, just give us a follow. We'd love to keep up with everybody and love to meet new people. I'm going to be at GIE Expo if everything goes well.
Sweet.
And I hope to meet lots of new people there. And I greatly appreciate the opportunity. And I'm very happy to see where you've gone, because when I was 17 years old, 6 years ago, I was watching your videos too, and they helped me out a lot. And it's amazing, full circle in this industry, what the green industry can do for us. Man,
that's so cool. That makes my my heart even more happy, man, to hear that you got some hopefully some foundationals from us, and again, graduating to some of the local guys in your market. That's huge, man. So again, I've said a couple times, super proud of you, man. Keep the hammer down. When's the wedding, by the way? When do you guys get married, if you don't mind me asking? You guys got a date on the calendar yet?
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the fall or winter of this year.
Cool.
Obviously, in the landscape industry, things are hectic in the summer months, but we'd really like to take some time and, have a smaller wedding and do it sometime during the fall or winter this year.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, congrats in advance. Hopefully everything goes smooth and works out. I'm just going to give you one last thing. My last tip is just remember this phrase: yes, honey. Okay, yes, honey. That's all you need to know during that wedding season. Let them get the extra chairs. Let them get the extra flowers. Let her spend a couple extra $100 or $1,000 on the dress. It's money well invested. Okay, so just that's her day. She's been thinking about it for 20 years. You've been thinking about it for 20 minutes. So just let her have whatever she wants. So, oh boy, that's good stuff. All right, guys. Well, Mason, I'll let you get back to running your business and crushing it. Thanks again for taking time to be on the show today, guys. If you are listening into the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast, we come at you guys on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for new podcast episodes. We'll have solo shows, guest shows. But if you guys are new here, we're all about helping you grow a more successful lawn and landscaping business so you guys can go out there and crush it. It's Lawns Lessons Life, and we're doing our best to give you the best that we have access to, and hopefully you guys enjoy what we're putting together. So don't forget to hit follow or subscribe in the top corner. Take advantage of that whole ball of wax sale here in August, and we'll look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.